Ready, folks? I'm going to start calling these, the ones that I do in the evening, I'm going to start calling it the Evening Post. Clayton's Evening Post. So I'm going to do an E minor part 2. I did one yesterday, it was on distorted sound. I hurried through, and when I was worried about not going over 15 minutes, and it wasn't even 11 minutes. So we got 12 after 8 here. No, 7 after 8. So we got till 22. All right. So anyways, we're gonna do, this is a Roland Cube. People have asked me on YouTube because you can't see the amp. 10GX, it's like about this big. It's about a frickin', I don't have a ruler on here, foot square or whatever, 16 by 12 or something. And I got it just set on delay. There's a few built-in effects on it. I think a couple different reverbs. Delay, flange maybe, and you just put the dial on whatever one you want. I think it's got chorus in it too. Anyways, we're going to do E minor part 2, pentatonic. So I'll take where I left off, start off learning it on the whole fretboard. This is to expand your creativity and phrasing. Obviously, if you only know it in a few places a little bit, most guitar players, they have pathways, they know it, but they don't know it fully, which is no big deal, but they, got their pathway. Typically everybody knows the 12th fret one. Or the open point. Alright, so I'll repeat that you want to learn it on the whole fretboard. So what I was doing when I worked on them was I just made myself, once I learned a second one, like this, I would just go back and forth with that. Like that, for example, but I'd also go all the way up. I'm doing that same thing. So I left off talking about the count, the 6 count and the 5 count. Now, today I'll touch on that, where you just do 2 strings at a time in a root note kind of thing. So here's an example. I would do these. This is to help your phrasing and creativity. So if you learn where, first of all, locate the E minor pentatonic, the whole fretboard, as I did, you got to watch part 1, and then start doing pieces of them like I'm going to teach now, and you'll hear phrases like, and you're going to find the notes where they are in that way. So take a 6 count in a root note, which means I'm going to do E minor pentatonic, and I'll start here. It doesn't matter where you want to start in it. All the blocks, you should learn it in all the blocks. So we'll start at the open one with this. And then the root. So it's called a 6 count in a root, but you're staying all with the E minor pentatonic. We're going to do that. Or what? So that's a root note. In this case, we're talking, when we say a 6 count in a root note, the root note is E. We're at E minor pentatonic. That's the root note, E, always. We're going to do a 5 count, 3 count, 4 count with it. So 6, and then go, and then the next block, then the next one. And you just grab an E wherever it is in your piece here. So the easiest one to do is right there. And then I would go up to that one because you're already on it. So, or you could go. Or here, I just would do this one. For now, this is for now, so you can get to where you can go. And then the same thing. Alright, so that my point is, and then walk up it. However slow you got to do it to keep it even, okay? Sorry about that, slipped up, no. So you can have a little bit of space, but try to keep it even. Get it to where you can, don't go, and then it takes you 5 seconds to go. Try to get it even. It forces you to continue to move, so do it slow enough so that you can kind of get it when you start the next one even. And then, and work it up to as fast as you want to go, you know? Yeah, that kind of thing. You can do it all the way down them. You could do this. And then see how you hear 6 notes in a root note. You do it all the way down. Kind of thing, and all of them. It's no big deal to do one in 2 places. That's nothing. You know, if you want to be a player, this is always about the whole fretboard. Take that one thing. Why would we be going off all of a sudden in someone else's music? That's the worst crime on the planet. This is for creativity. You know, you want to learn other people's songs, you don't need these videos. And then, you know, same thing all the way up. Wait, oh, sorry, I didn't do that. Wait. You know, we're just doing a 6 count and a root note, and do that every. And then, whoop. That kind of thing. Then do the 5 count in a root note. You can do any count you want. Any count you want. Just do that count down that block, down that block, down that block, all the way up. Now you get really good doing that, and you'll get to become a much better player. So a 5 count. You can alternate it or pick it any way you want, but alternating is the best way to, you know, have smoothness and keep it moving a little faster. So you could go down, up, down, up, down, and then go back down below the string and pick up. Or however you want. I might go down if I'm doing a riff in a track. I might just go down that way. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1. Do the same. See that? Learn to slide up to notes. That's how you'll get to. You know, work to move back and forth. Then you got the 3 count. this is 3 in 1. Kind of things. I don't do those obviously, but you know, so basically what you get, and then 2 string stuff, 4 notes, and then back. You know, it's obviously not everybody's going to want to do that much, but that's okay. But if you take some of it, right, and then do phrasing anywhere in the middle too, not just off the ends all the time, yeah. You know, whatever, you know. I don't even know what I'm doing, but just kind of, you know, creating phrases, but just kind of with a count. 1. I'm just staying purely with the B minor pentatonic. You know, I'm just going. I don't even know what that count is. Dun, 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 and then a root note. So I'm doing 6 in a root note, but I'm creating a phrase when I do it. That kind of thing, you know, all of a sudden you're like, wow, that's a riff. Yeah, well, if you do it in every block, the 5 count, the 6 count, the 3, the whatever, blah, 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 all of a sudden your playing has just moved up to the 10th power or something, you know what I mean, from what it was. So another little smidge, part 2. We'll call it Evening Post. Clay's Evening Post, part 2. E minor pentatonic. Have a good evening, folks. Who's a good girl?